Michelle, it's all yours.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to connect during these times. Very important to do so. I'm in touch with people at ALEH Negev. I understand that it's not simple right now. As some of you may know, I spent 1 week volunteering at the village about a month and a half ago. And then I went back to do a story for I-24 News about a month ago. So this all happened in the span of less than 2 months. And ever since, as we're all very well aware, life has really changed for everyone. I volunteered specifically at the ranch, and there are no classes being held there right now. All the staff has been let off on leave, and there's just one person who's there taking care of the horses. As far as the residents, of course, they have the caregivers who are the only staff remaining at the village. So no normalcy at all, no volunteers. There's no way for them to see their families. And this is the type of reality everyone's facing right now. But as you know, with ALEH Negev, it's much more challenging because it's also a community that's at higher risk, and it's also harder to communicate the importance of different procedures that we all have to take into consideration these days. So my experience there, I guess if I can bring it back and try to share it and have other people relive it, was one of the most significant ones I ever had in my life. Through the work with horses in residence, I was able to see something really incredible happen. And I hope, and what I wanted to do as a journalist was have as many other people be able to see it. Whoever can visit, that's of course the #1 recommended thing to do. I also interviewed Rhonda while I was there, JNF donor who volunteered there for several months, if I'm not mistaken. She'll be speaking shortly. And it's just such an incredible, special place. Everyone knows the story of Doron Almog, and it's really life-changing. It's really one of the places that I'd like to be able to highlight even more. And I'm happy also to share with you the report, the story I did for I-24 News that kind of gives a little more of depth and insight into the method that is used specifically at the horse ranch and how it affects residents, that very intimate connection between residents, students, staff, of course, and horses, and how that connection is so natural and what it brings to the table and how it's transformative in so many ways. And hopefully more of the JNF community can become aware and contribute and become active members of the ALEH Negev family. So I guess now if Avnet is there, you can give us a little update about what's happening right now at the village, how life is going on amid all the challenges happening, and what we can expect in the foreseen future.
Yeah, thank you, Michal. It's nice to finally meet you. We were supposed to meet in the last 2 weeks, and thanks to the coronavirus, we didn't. But I heard a lot about you from Doron and the impact that you made at ALEH Negev, but also afterwards with your articles. So thank you for that. It's really important, and it's very nobility work, whatever, you understood me. So thank you for that. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you. I'm sorry that I'm in my bed in my room because the kids control the house, as you can imagine. But I'm sure also in all of your houses. So we're trying to do as much as we can. So I want to start with showing you a short video that Doron made for all of you, and also some funny movie that we had today at ALEH Negev. So let's start with Doron. Tell me if you're here.
Our JNF here in ALEH Negev, usually it's all crowded. Our resident south of Israel.
We can't see it.
Can't see it?
You see your videos, but not the video itself. You have to share the video itself.
We hear
Share
the
screen,
audio, but we
share-
don't see the video.
Share the
I
app,
see.
not the screen.
What should I do?
When you have a choice of what to share,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you choose the video itself, not your screen.
Oh, I see. So what do you see? You see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let's try it again.
Our JNF friends
Oh,
here in ALEH Negev, usually it's all crowded.
no?
כאן בעלי נגב, עם על
You see that?
No, only the recording.
Damn.
Let's try
So
one more
Gary, I
time.
guess I'm not a good student.
No. I'm going to give you a failing grade.
You have-
if you need me to do it.
Yeah.
You have the.
If you have
the
access to it,
video.
maybe you can try to do it from your computer.
No, I emailed Gary beforehand, so you have it. Share Doron's video first, and then the funny dancing.
I don't see it. Is it the one
No.
entitled ALEH Negev Update? No.
I emailed you.
You emailed me in the past couple of hours, and I didn't set it up ahead of time.
Okay, maybe I succeeded now. Look,
friends here in ALEH Negev, usually
you can see it?
our
No, you're not shared. Now
Oh,
share.
now, yes. I think now I see it.
crowded. Our resident
Don't see the sharing.
strictly keep the isolation policy, keeping our
The share screen button, the green button, and then choose the video that's playing. And make sure you check the boxes that say share my computer audio and optimize
did,
full
but-
screen video, the two check boxes. And you'll be all
I
set.
did, but it's not working, I guess. Anyway, never mind. Doron just sending you a message of, thank you for all you have done in the last 16 years that we are been together. Short update about the isolation that we are doing at ALEH Negev right now, and also making sure that all of you are healthy and keep safe and clean. So a week ago, maybe 4 days ago, we discovered, ALEH Negev is part of a big organization called ALEH, that we have 4 chapters along Israel, one in Bnei Brak, one in Jerusalem, one in Gedera, and one in the Negev. JNF and Doron and I specific work on ALEH Negev because it's in the Negev. But unfortunately, 4 days ago, we discovered that one of the caregivers in ALEH Gedera diagnosed with the virus. So we are really scared that also some of the residents got it. So now there is a lot of, fears in ALEH, and we are doing harsh measurement in ALEH Negev as well to make sure that it's not happening in ALEH Negev. I think it will be difficult because, as you know, the virus is waiting for 2 weeks. So who knows who saw the resident 2 weeks ago. But what we did in ALEH Negev is that we sent on a leave about 40% of our employees, which was very, very sad because they're doing an amazing job. But we sent out, Michal, by the way, we closed the horseback riding, so we sent all the professionals there. We closed the school that some of you donate in the past. It means that 200 kids don't go to school, 200 special need kids do not go to school, and all the teachers are home. So it's really, really sad. We kept only the specific caregivers that take care of the residents. We did tests to all of them. We make sure that they come and keep clean at home. And we use the same staff all the time. So we're not changing beside the 3 shifts, because in ALEH Negev we work in 3 shifts, 8 hours each. So we don't use more than 3 shifts of people. And obviously it will be very difficult for them if that's going on more and more. We sent out all the volunteers, most of the volunteers. Rhonda will tell you about her job, but we have 800 volunteers. We sent out 700. We kept only 100 that do, daily work with the resident, and we also made sure that they are clean of the negative of the virus, and they are helping the staff as well. We spend, again, I'm not here to talk about fundraising because I know that you all worries about your families and your financial, but we spent so far $100,000 in making sure that that ALEH Negev is virus free. We'll talk about it after the virus gone, but that's right now, and I believe it will go up and up as long as it goes. Also, I wanted to tell all of you that we keep the construction on. So we don't stop the construction because according to the government of Israel, construction is a needing job. I don't know if you say needing, but that's one of the jobs that's
essential.
Essential job. Sorry. Thank you, Michal. So the construction of the hospital is so far on the go, and we hope to finish in March 21 as planned. But obviously, we don't know what the day will bring. So that's for now. I want to hand it to Rhonda to tell you she just left ALEH Negev, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It's her second time she volunteered in ALEH Negev, which is an amazing thing. She spent 2 months in her life to volunteer in ALEH Negev for free, obviously. She rent her own apartment, so we don't even spend money on that. So Rhonda, you're an angel for us. Tell us a little bit about your experience, and I'll try to share your picture. I hope it will be successful now.
Okay. Well, for anybody who doesn't know me, I am president of the Sapphire Women's Society in Boston. I'm also a board member.
You see the picture? Sorry.
Well, we see your screen, Avna.
We see your screen. It's probably just better to see Rhonda at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Not a problem. This was the second time that I have given my time to ALEH Negev. ALEH Negev is very, very close to my heart. I come from a family with people who have special needs, and I wish there was an ALEH Negev where I grew up in Montreal. I just want to touch upon a few things that both Avnet and Michal said. And the first thing is that at ALEH Negev, the place runs on volunteers. And the volunteers are usually young people, German, Holland, from Netherlands or Germany, and really all over. Very few from the United States, don't know why, but we had one while I was there. When I came to ALEH Negev at the end of January, we had 20 plus hands-on all the time. And I'm not talking about the Bat Shirut with the girls who give their national service, because they're another very huge part of what runs ALEH Negev. And just to tell you, today we have not even 12 because some are in quarantine. And yes, they've closed the ranch. They've closed a lot of the occupational therapy that the residents get. But the volunteers and the paid staff try their best to continue with what they know to stimulate the residents. The Bat Shirut, they will run activities that are kinetic. They will pick up the slack where it's needed, and God bless them for that. There are some pictures that I could show you, and I'll just do it in a very different way. That today, this is how we have to dress as volunteers. We never had to do that before. Now we're wearing gloves. Now we're wearing masks. We tried not to wear masks for a while so that our interaction with the residents, they could see our face. That's our communication with them. Some of them are deaf, some of them are blind, but they see our face, they read our emotions from our face, and we read theirs from their face. The houses, the corona has really devastated, I don't want to put it in the most dire way, but has devastated the village in the sense that each resident's house, there's homes that house 24 residents, are manned by employees, run by a house manager, helped by volunteers like myself and Bat Sharut, the girls of do national service, and they're making do. People, residents aren't getting fed as timely as they were. Everybody's getting fed and no one's being hungry, but the virus has really, really impacted.
Rhonda, I think it's important to stress how much they rely on their volunteers.
Yeah.
And right now, when there's just the staff and no volunteers to help, it's literally affecting people's eating schedules because the village runs on people like you. And you, if I understand correctly, had to cut your trip short. Yeah. You left early.
So I left early because my flight in April was canceled. And I just tried to get out as quickly as I could. I had a very hard time leaving because I knew I was leaving them understaffed. And that's the way I am with my guilt of leaving them. But, you know, the residents are still getting fed. It's just very taxing on everybody that they're so short-staffed. We like to take them out for walks. We can't do it as frequently because we need more manpower in the homes.
Rhonda, can you maybe share what a day looked like for you as a volunteer?
Sure. So pre-corona, I would get there at 7. My shift was 7 to 2. Because I'm a volunteer, I am not to bathe or dress them. The paid staff does that. No volunteers can if they're trained. And those people have been there for 8 months, and then they're trained. So I get there, and I'm in one house with 24 men. And the first thing I do is I greet them, and it's face to face, lots of smiles, hugs, and kisses. This is pre-corona. I make sure their shoes and socks are on because everybody deserves to feel like a mensch, and they all do. Sometimes I have to brush their hair, whatever, stimulate them. Then we do our morning routine of songs, Boker Tov, Shalom songs. After that point, we feed them. Now, each resident is eating at a different level of like chewing. Some can't chew, some can chew, some can swallow only mush, like puree. So we all know what to do, and we're all very careful. Nurses come in, give us the medication, or give the residents the medication. After that, pre-corona, we either take residents to school because they are functioning enough to be in a school setting.
When you say take them, are most able to walk, the class that you were with? No.
I would say
that you need
99.9% of them are in wheelchairs.
Wheelchairs, which means that everyone needs someone to help get them to their next destination. That's part of what I did when I was there. Otherwise, there's no way to get them from point A to point B.
Right. And to the ranch, sometimes they brought the horses to our courtyards, which was really made our life easier. And the residents got to feed the horses and touch the horses and walk the horses. They really walked the horses around in a circle in their own courtyard, and it made it a lot easier. So after we could take some to school, we take some to a workshop setting where they're stimulated by trained therapists, OTs, speech, all kinds of therapists, and they could be doing anything from sense therapy with plants and flowers and touch to, I don't know if you've seen the ceramic Here we go. These beautiful
Different workshops, paper mache.
this ceramic. They'll
Exactly.
put this magnet in a box, put a sticker on it.
And these items actually go for sale on
Yes.
their online store. So this is
Yes.
trying to get people involved and actually take an active part in the workforce.
Yes, and then they feel very proud when they're able to do these things. After that, it's lunchtime, and back to feeding them. And by that point, it's about 1-ish, and then they're changed and given a nap. These, in my house that I worked at, they were all from, the youngest was 13. Victor just turned 13, and the oldest might have been in his 40s. And they take a nap. It's exhausting for them. They are exhausted. We stimulate them all morning long. All morning long. We don't give them a break. They love it. We love it. And then after the afternoon, the 2 to 7 or 2 to 8 shift, we'll do more stimulation, whether it's sitting outside and singing songs or painting. We do a lot, as much as we can outside.
So Rhonda, this is what your day looked like every single day, I guess, except for weekends. And today, there is no Rhonda. There are no volunteers. Maybe you can share a little bit what's happening today, and then we can hear a little more from Avnet. So these activities, the workshops, I'm guessing, aren't taking place. There are no classes at the ranch. There are no schools. So what are they doing all day?
So two girls. So in the morning shift that I ran, there are no volunteers. The volunteers are working in the evening shift now. And what they are doing is they are doing as much stimulation as they can in the afternoon. I'm assuming that the Bat Sharut are there in the morning, and they are stimulating and working with the residents, like you said, with a papier-mâché. It's tactile for them to feel. Painting. We know.
Rhonda,
Yeah.
can I say something for the people? You both know it, but the routine for the residents is very, very important. And the routine sometimes distracted by wars. Every event that we have in Gaza, immediately we put all of them in the rooms, in a shelter, all of them in one room. They used to live with their own partners. They used to their activities like pool, like horseback riding, going to school, whatever, you name it. And during war times, they don't do it. But unlike wartime, we cannot bring the activities in. During wartime, we bring the dogs in, even we brought the horses in, and all kind of clowns and, speech therapists, etc., etc. Now we barely can bring any activities in. So thankfully, they are not all in one room. They can live in their own room with their regular partners, but they don't have the activities that it's really, really needed for them. So that's unfortunate.
And actually, the way the residents' homes are set up, there's 2 sides that are separated by the safe room and the kitchens. And we're keeping the residents apart now. So all 24 are not being with each other unless they're outside. And that is really at a distance. So they're not, like Avnet said, they're not having their actual routines. The Spetscherut and the volunteers.
They don't have the people that they know, like you,
Right.
like the volunteers that come frequently, suddenly they don't see them. It's really, really important to understand how it distracts their life. It's not just for us.
Their life, their development, there are no outside visits. I saw something that Doron shared, a very moving Skype call that was held because the families aren't able to come.
Correct.
And like you're saying, this has a really a much greater impact because it's also hard to maybe communicate to some of the residents why this is happening and why they suddenly aren't being visited and why they're used to be getting so much love and suddenly all that stopped instantly.
Definitely.
It's instantly. So I'll answer questions later. I'm pretty devastated that what's happening there. And my plan is to go back in October, God willing, to give back some more time to them.
Yeah, this is definitely the time to talk and share and raise awareness about ALEH Negev, especially now when it's so devastating, like you're saying. Avnet, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what they are doing, because there's so much weight on the staff that has remained there. So first of all, how's the staff managing? And then what are you thinking as far as the next few weeks or even few months, because we really don't know when the situation is going to end?
So right now they're trying to figure it out, what we can do and what we cannot do. So I don't have a clear answer right now. Avi is now working hard with the Minister of Health to understand what we can do. My guess is that we're keeping the speech therapist at least and a physiotherapist, but nothing more than that. But again, we'll try and we'll follow the orders of the Minister of Health. And again, because the Minister of Education closed the school, we don't have teachers to work with them on their abilities. So that's something that we are really missing. I heard today rumors that the school year is ended and it won't start until September for everybody in Israel, not just in ALEH Negev. So to tell you what will happen in 2 months, I don't know. I hope the malaria medicine will work. That's the only hope I have.
Avnet, do you know if they're looking to move any of the activities to becoming virtual? I know that it doesn't answer all the needs, but maybe there are certain things, especially for specific populations, that can, certain classes that can be moved, certain things that will help stimulate in a way that can be done through video. Is that something that you're thinking about?
Not that I know, but it's a great idea. So I'll deliver the message to Avi. Probably they will do it. Yeah.
So one of my favorite places at ALEH Negev is the Garden of the Five Senses, because like Rhonda mentioned, some are blind, some are deaf, everyone has a different disability. And so this garden really is a place that everyone can connect to. There are bells, there are leaves, you can smell, you can touch, you can hear the water. There's a beautiful stream.
Here in America, we call it the JNF garden because it's all donated by JNF. Yeah.
It really is the most beautiful spot. So it is hard to replace something like that. I'm guessing, at least if we're looking at the silver lining within the compound, because it's separated, I'm guessing, and tell me if net residents are able to still go for walks.
They're going outside for a walk in small groups. Definitely. That's, again, comparing to war times, that's something that they can do, thankfully, with this disease. But yeah, so we are doing it.
And also, also the volunteers and the staff have watched years of the therapy, the sensual therapy, the bunny rabbit therapy, and the horse therapy, that they're doing their best to bring it into the houses for the residents. Whether it's, there's tons of rosemary growing all over ALEH Negev, and bringing that in and letting them touch and feel and trying to give them the sense of their routine, because every day they were stimulated with a different type of therapy. So I have to give a lot of credit to the staff that they're working very hard to try to keep the routines as best as they can for the residents.
Yeah, let me try.
I think one of the things I'll just say that really amazed me at ALEH Negev, and this is something I saw my first day already as a volunteer, how the staff knows everyone, all the residents, in such an intimate way. The nuances, what they like, what they don't like, the sensory nuances, they like touch, they prefer to smell. And this really comes to show that all the people that are there, staff and volunteers, are there for the long haul, because you need people who are dedicated. People see changes, advancements happening over time. And this is not a place where you can just come in and understand within a day or even a week how things operate. And during my time at the ranch, there were actually some incredible breakthroughs with several of the residents who suddenly moved something for the first time or reacted to the horse in the way that they didn't before. And this was all a result of a relationship that's being built over time and monitored and enhanced by the staff. So all this is being put on pause. And this is, of course, the development, not only quality of life, but the development has all in a way been paused. And I'm sure the staff is doing an amazing time, but we really have to think as a JNF community, how we can help and really boost things once the coronavirus threat is behind, because we will be behind as far as residents, as far as whatever tools they need. And that will really be the time to give a boost to get them to where they were before this all started.
Can I chime in here for a
Yeah.
moment? I just want to say a personal thank you. Yeah, a personal thank you to Rhonda.
Oh, I think it's.
So welcome, Nina.
Nina, your reception is not so good, so we barely hear you. Barely.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you have some
Hi.
connectivity issues.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's true. Can you hear me now?
Yes, let's try again.
Okay, I just wanted, again, a personal thank you to Rhonda and to tell her again that she's been the inspiration for my husband and myself to create the Max Paul Volunteer Program to bring American volunteers to ALEH Negev, because you were the only one, while there were the Dutch and the German coming and the Israelis, of course. So again, Toda Rabba, thank you so much. I pray to God that we'll be able to send volunteers quickly back to do the wonderful work that you do. So again, thank you.
And thank you to Nina as well, because this is exactly what we're missing. Here is a community that is used to volunteering and giving and being very philanthropic. For some reason, we're not seeing Americans volunteer their time like Rhonda has. And this is something that your program will help enhance. And we should think about ways together on, you know, how to advance this, how to help attract younger, whether students or just youngsters who might have their summers free. It's the most rewarding experience. Rhonda, how do you think we can attract more people from the States?
I definitely think the longer the stay, the better for the volunteers, and coming for only a month or so might not sort of can disrupt their routines, but of course all hands are welcome. But I think if we tackle a gap year type of a program or a longer that type of program, you know, through the colleges or high schools and get that going, I think that's the way to go. A lot of the volunteers that are coming from the Netherlands and Germany are doing it through their churches. They are signing up for gap years through their churches, and it's working. It's working because we get a ton of them that way.
We are actually working with a number of organizations to do just that. Both gap years, both internships over the summer, Onward Israel, for those that might know that program. Mm-hmm. Our Jewish Federation here in Cincinnati, believe it or not, is working together with us on bringing, hopefully in the future now, you know, students to that program. But yes, we have a wonderful person, Michal, on staff at ALEH Negev, who's in charge of, yeah, she's good, in charge of creating more and more opportunities. And we even have our very own
Alexander,
we're losing.
She mean Alexander Moss High School that send their kids to volunteer.
Yeah.
Okay, we're missing Nina again.
High school, so
oh, here
sorry, Alexander Moss High School kids are coming. So we are thinking, but any idea, any thought, please let us know so we can continue.
Nina, this is Itzik. I want to tell you that, you know, that my youngest, Asif, volunteered for like 2.5 months a couple of years ago. It became a major part on her resume. And she was accepted to 4 medical schools with this really being center on her experience. You have to really encourage kids who it's a real amazing experience.
And Isaac, tell them that now she goes to medic school.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said.
Oh.
We're working with Ben-Gurion University.
Nina.
We're losing Nina again, but I think this is really a good time.
Together with Ben-Gurion.
So the fact that these programs are happening in this cooperation, I don't know if you mentioned Birthright. I think Birthright could also be a good community maybe of whoever had been, of graduates, let's call them, who should be aware of this program and the fact that it even exists. Because also within ALEH, there are so many different parts that you can volunteer. So there's the experience I had at the ranch, you could be with the residents. So many hands are welcome there. And maybe now we can think about a call to action and a way to get people more involved now that so many of us have more time to maybe think about these things. I do think this can be a moment and also an opportunity for us. Avnet, would you like to add any more things as far as a call to action and moving forward?
Yes, I would love to. Again, my agenda in this crisis is to make sure that our donors are safe and healthy. But anyhow, I see that there are a lot of professionals on the call. So I want to mention that we still need a lot of money for the hospital. Obviously now it's all going to stop. I mean, the fundraising, not the building, not the construction. So if anyhow you have donors that still thinking of giving right now, please do it and talk to me. It's really important. Second thing is, as I said, we spent so far $100,000 in making sure that ALEH Negev is corona free. And the budget will grow, I'm sure, as much as the situation stay like that. So keep in mind that we need you. Publish it in your communities, talk with donors, and I'm sure donors are really careful with their financial now, but some still will do things. So as Doron always said, strong society measured by the way it reads its weakest link. So now our residents are the weakest, even weaker than usually. So please keep it in mind. We are about to close. Michal?
Yeah, I think we'll start wrapping it up. So final thoughts.
Let me try to share this video again if it won't work out. Because it's great to show how amazing our stuff is. So let me try.
It's a very cute video. It's definitely worth a try.
It is. So I'll do it.
Oh, good.
I think it's working. Yeah. I think so.
It's good. It's good. We don't hear sound though.
So we can't hear that well, but just to fill you in, it's the Macarena that we all know. Macarena being very close to Corona. And in Hebrew it says, Lechi ma Corona, go away Corona. And they're trying to, I guess, make light or make the most of the situation. And it's really cute. It really shows, I think, the spirit of the people. Everyone I met at ALEH Negev is amazing and gives 100% of themselves. And yeah, this really represents the people and the staff and whoever gives their heart to ALEH Negev.
Yeah.
I'm happy it worked.
Very happy it worked. Gary, would you like to say anything before we end this call?
No, we're good. I was just going to help people unmute themselves if there were any other questions.
Okay, sure. If we can definitely take questions at this point.
Okay, you can unmute yourself if anybody has a question. If you're on the phone, *6.
We'll take now questions. Anyone who wants to ask Rhonda about her experiences, I'll just remind you that when I asked you about how you summarize it, you basically said that it changed your life. I can relate. It changed my life. It will change anyone's life who goes there. And people who say, wow, it's so incredible that you give of your time. Whoever gives at ALEH Negev receives so much more. It's not a cliche. It's actually the way it is. So Rhonda, I really think that you are kind of the source for North Americans to be able to see and have a glimpse into the experience, and hopefully we can get so many more people to join as well.
I hope so. I hope so. And just back to the relationships that the staff and volunteers have with the residents, even though they're nonverbal, they're blind, they can be deaf, they're very handicapped. Each one of them has a very unique personality, and each one of us, staff, volunteer alike, knows that and knows how to react, talk to them, and get a smile, a laugh, a clap out of them. And it is magical. It's magical, it's heartwarming, and I hope now that I'm retired, I can be there more often and for longer.
Between like 10 and 11:30.
I think that at some point, whoever will want to visit you, Rhonda, will have to go to ALEH Negev. I think that's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the way to get people to go there.
I'm not going to be a snowbird, I'm going to be a Beersheba bird.
Are there any questions for either Annette or Rhonda? Yeah.
Can I just share a quick ALEH Negev anecdote?
Yes.
And this is for my fundraising colleagues. So a couple summers ago, this was a family trip, and we went down south. I was with Yedidia, and this is like as fundraisers, we don't often get to experience firsthand the impact we are making in Israel at ALEH Negev. So we're walking around, it's late in the afternoon, and it was just an absolutely beautiful day. And mom and dad are walking towards us with their son in a wheelchair. And Yedidia says, let's go talk to them. And we found out that the son was diagnosed with severe brain disorder when he was around 12. They didn't think he would make it to his bar mitzvah. And when we were meeting the son, he was 20 years old. Yedidia introduced me as the executive director in Los Angeles. And the parents, through their broken English, were like saying, thank you, because without JNF, we would not have a life. We live in Jerusalem. We have a small apartment. We have 3 other kids. We come down here once a month. He comes to visit us once a month. But without JNF, where would we be? And then all of a sudden, like, they started crying. I started crying. My wife and kids were crying. We had this big hug in the middle of ALEH Negev. And I've used this many times, like in an ask, because that's the first time I got to see firsthand how our money was working. I hear the great stories, but when you experience it firsthand, and this is already 2 years ago, it's something I could vividly remember as I'm telling you this story. So just wanted to share that.
It really changes lives. It really changes lives. If there are any other questions, please let me know. I just want to say that I also met with a lot of the classrooms, the special needs classes who are now on break. And that breaks my heart, because I met there's a smart classroom there that uses smart devices and computers that are able to detect eye movement for people that either have Rett syndrome, girls who have Rett syndrome, or who can't communicate in any physical way. And I really don't know how they're able to communicate now, because the facilities and the tools and the staff that they have enabled them to have a much better quality of life and to express themselves. And once they're home with siblings without the proper machinery and devices, I can only imagine the challenges. So yeah, thank you for sharing that story and for also reminding me of a few very special moments. Anyone else have some anecdotes or stories or questions? One of the 109 participants. Well, we hear kids in the background. Avnet, are those yours?
Yeah, they got into the room.
It's like the BBC interview where the dad is getting interviewed and he walks in. We all have that, all been there, don't worry about it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing. I think it's a great idea, and having these Zoom calls, these Zoom conferences, and it would actually be really great to have a follow-up, and maybe each one of us can go and think of how we can help spread this message, support the community, any ideas we might have for this specific time. And then of course, once Bezrat Hashem, things go back to normal, how we can help enhance and involve more of our community in the amazing work that ALEH Negev does. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Michal.
Thank you, Michal.
Thank you to
Guys, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank
Terrific. And more of these video shows are coming. You check our schedule at JNF.org/on-demand. jnf.org/on-demand. And there's another video show at 3 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow as well, and beyond that. Thanks again, guys.
Amazing.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Stay safe.